My mom turned my hospitalization into a social media spectacle. I cut her off for 2 years. Now she says she's changed and wants back in my life. So I made her prove it, without an audience watching this time. I don't care how many likes you got, Mom. That's not your story to tell. That's what I said. Loud enough for the whole ER to hear. My voice cracked halfway through, probably from the meds or maybe just the sheer disbelief that this was even happening. She looked at me, wide-eyed like I had just betrayed her. Phone still clutched in her hand. Screen glowing with my unconscious face on her latest post. Brave girl fights for her life. Please keep us in your prayers. It said. 23,000 likes. 500 comments. One trauma, broadcast in real time. Let me back up. 2 nights earlier, I'd been wheeled into the ICU after collapsing at work. No warning, no time to call anyone. Just lights out. The doctors later said it was a combination of severe dehydration, stress, and an untreated infection that got way worse than it should have. One more day and it could have been organ failure. While I was unconscious, sedated, hooked up to wires and tubes, my mom was out here, snapping selfies beside my hospital bed and updating her followers like she was running a PR campaign. It wasn't the first time she'd used me like this. I was the miracle baby who survived a complicated birth. The anxious teen she loved unconditionally in every Facebook post. Never mind the reality behind closed doors. Every meltdown I ever had, every dark moment, became a way for her to gather sympathy points online. Trauma bait with a filter. So when I woke up and saw the post, the hashtags, the tags, the staged tears, I lost it. You think this is love? I said, pulling the oxygen tube from my nose. You think this is support? You're just feeding your damn followers. Her mouth opened, then closed. She blinked, fingers still hovering like she might take another picture. That's when the nurse came in, and I asked her to remove my mom from the room. I was done. But here's the kicker. When she finally left, she said, "You'll regret pushing me away. That was 2 years ago. I haven't seen her since." Now here she is, 2 years later, standing on my porch in the rain with flowers and tears, whispering she's changed, that she's in therapy, that she knows she went too far, that she's sorry. I told her, if you're serious, prove it. No cameras, no posts, just you and me. Let's see if you even know who I am without an audience. The look on her face said everything. She hadn't expected conditions. Now I'm sitting here, staring at the unopened envelope she left behind. It's thick, probably full of printed out apologies or maybe court papers or maybe just empty words dressed up in cardstock. I have no idea what to do with it. Should I read it? Should I believe her? Or is this just another story she's trying to sell? I didn't open the envelope. Not right away. Instead, I did what I hadn't done since the day I walked out of her house with a hospital bracelet still wrapped around my wrist. I checked her profile. Bad idea. Her bio still read Proud Mama. Mental health advocate. Warrior of grace. The header image? Still the same one from the hospital, the one she swore she'd deleted when I asked her to. The comments on that post were still there, too. People saying things like, "Your daughter is so strong, just like her mama," and "Keeping you both in our prayers, you're such an inspiration, Purple Heart." There was one that stopped me cold. "I lost my daughter 2 years ago. Watching you go through this with such faith gives me hope." Hope? She gave people hope using me. My pain. My body, broken and sedated, as content for strangers. I wanted to throw my phone. I remember sitting up in that hospital bed, still hooked to fluids, scrolling through comments that knew more about what happened to me than I did. "She's stable now," one read. I hadn't even spoken to a doctor yet. "Still in critical condition, but we believe in miracles," said another. She had posted my diagnosis before I even knew it. That's when it hit me. I wasn't her daughter anymore. I was her storyline. And when I stopped playing the part, she had nothing left to post about. I moved out the same week I got discharged, packed a bag, blocked her number, and crashed on my friend Sherry's couch until I got back on my feet. I didn't look back. Not even when she tried sending gifts. Not even when she posted cryptic little updates. Some people are so ungrateful, pensive face. Like she was the victim. I knew what she was doing. Fishing for sympathy. Weaponizing vagueness. And every like she got just confirmed what I already believed. No one really cared about me. They cared about the character she created. The girl in the hospital. The one who made her mom look strong. So when she showed up yesterday, wet from the rain, mascara streaked down her face like some kind of rom-com cliché, part of me didn't even flinch. She said, "I don't want followers. I want my daughter." And I said, "Prove it." She handed me the envelope and walked away. I've stared at it every night since. I haven't opened it, but I keep thinking about it. What if she really has changed? What if she's telling the truth this time? But then again, what if she's not? The envelope sat on my kitchen table like a dare. Like it was whispering, "Go on, open me, what's the worst that could happen?" I stared at it through dinner. Through a half-watched episode of some crime show I wasn't even following. Through the silence afterward, which felt way louder than anything on screen. By midnight, I chewed one fingernail down to nothing. I told myself it didn't matter. That I was over it. That her tears weren't mine to manage anymore. That people like her don't change, not really. They just get better at hiding their motives. But still, that voice in my head, the one I've spent years trying to shut up, kept nudging me. What if she's different? What if she's actually trying? I hated that voice. It sounded too much like the little kid I used to be. The one who stood outside her door, listening to her cry after my dad left, wishing I could do something to make her feel okay. The one who believed if I was just good enough, smart enough, helpful enough, she'd love me the way she loved the strangers in her comments section. I picked up the envelope. Turned it over in my hands. No return address, just my name. Sophie in her handwriting, rounded, neat, fake as ever. I don't know why I did it, but I grabbed my phone and opened the voice memos app. If I was going to do this, I wanted a record. I hit record and said, "All right, Mom. Let's see what you've got to say." Then I tore it open. Inside was a letter. 5 pages, handwritten. No photos. No Instagram links. Just ink and shaky cursive and that scent of her floral hand lotion I used to steal as a kid. The first line read, "If you're reading this, it means you haven't thrown it out. So thank you for that." Ugh. Manipulative right from the start. But I kept going. I read all of it. Every single word. Her admissions. Her apologies. Her version of the story. She said she was addicted to attention the way some people get addicted to painkillers. That the likes and comments made her feel needed. That sharing my life made her feel like she had one worth showing. She said she never meant to hurt me, that she thought she was showing love. She ended it with, "I'll do anything to earn your trust back. Just tell me how." I sat back in my chair, staring at the letter. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just felt tired. Because now I had a choice. Do I give her a chance to prove she's changed? Or do I let the past stay buried and keep walking the other direction? That's where I'm stuck. And the thing is, either answer feels like betrayal. Of myself, or the tiny hope I've been too afraid to admit still lives in me. I didn't call her. Not at first. Instead, I wrote out a list. If she wants back in, these are the rules. No social media posts about me. Ever. No photos without asking. No using my story, name, or face for content. She doesn't get to cry on camera about forgiveness. Therapy, real, consistent therapy, not the kind you mention once and forget about. And the last one? This was the one that made my stomach twist. She has to delete every post she ever made about me. Every last one. I emailed it to her with the subject line, "Step 1, cut the cameras." She responded within minutes. Just one word, "Okay." No excuses. No fake deep quotes. No, but I just wanted people to know. Just okay. I didn't know how to feel about that. It would have been easier if she'd pushed back. If she'd thrown a fit or tried to guilt me. But silence? Compliance? That was new. Suspiciously new. Still, I watched her page. And within 48 hours, the hospital post was gone. So was every throwback. Every trauma-drenched caption. Every brave journey highlight reel. It was like she'd scrubbed me from her digital existence. And for a moment, it felt good. Until I saw her new post. Just a photo of her holding a coffee mug that said, "Healing isn't linear," with the caption, "Starting from scratch. Thank you for the love, even in silence." The comments were already flooding in. "You're so brave. Your daughter will come back one day. She's lucky to have a mom like you." I wanted to scream. This was the same game. Just quieter. No more photos of me, sure. But she was still curating sympathy. Still inviting strangers into the most private room of my life. Only this time, she made herself the victim of my boundaries. I paced for almost an hour before texting her, "Didn't we agree no more posts about me?" She wrote back, "It's not about you. It's about me now." That's when I knew this wasn't over. It was just the start of a new kind of manipulation. A week later, I agreed to meet her. Neutral ground. No house visits, no public cafes where she could orchestrate a perfect, candid shot. I picked a dusty little park out by the lake, one with spotty reception and zero Wi-Fi. The kind of place you had to be present for. She showed up in a soft cardigan and minimal makeup. No dramatic entrance, no tears. Just a tentative wave and a paper bag with 2 iced teas. Her version of a peace offering, I guess. "Hi, Sophie," she said, like we were strangers. And in a way, I guess we were. We sat on a weather-worn bench under a crooked pine, and for the first 5 minutes, it was just birds and silence and the occasional creak of the wooden slats beneath us. I stared at the lake. She stared at me. "I'm in therapy," she finally said. I nodded. "For how long?" 3 months. Weekly. With a real person, not one of those TikTok life coaches. That made me snort. I didn't mean to, but it was the first honest thing I'd heard her say in years. We talked. Not deeply. Not like a movie reunion. More like 2 people trying to patch together an awkward group project without fighting over the glue. She said all the right things. "I know I used you. I'm sorry. I'm working on boundaries. I don't want to lose you again." But there was something in her eyes. That flicker. Like she was still trying to get it right, not just real. Then she said it. "I was just trying to make people care." I looked at her. "About me or about you?" She didn't answer. Instead, she pulled out her phone, just instinctively like it was muscle memory, and I swear my body went ice cold. "Don't," I said. She froze. "No photos," I added. "No posts. Not even of the lake." "I wasn't going to," she whispered. But her screen was already open. Camera app active. She shut it fast. Embarrassed. "I still catch myself," she admitted. "Like I'm more comfortable online than with people." I believed that. God help me, I really did. But belief doesn't mean trust. So I gave her a new rule: for now, if we meet, you leave your phone in the car. Her face fell just a little. But she agreed. Still, I could tell. She was already planning how to spin that too. Phone-free bonding with my daughter, orange heart, something like that. As we said goodbye, she hugged me. I let her. But I didn't hug her back. And that night, she posted again. Just a quote this time. No photo. White background, black text. "Some apologies don't need to be accepted to be valid." Unknown. The comments lit up. "You're so wise. She's not ready, but you're doing the work. Keep shining. She'll come around." I didn't comment. Didn't text. Didn't say anything at all. But I knew one thing for sure: this wasn't about forgiveness. This was about performance. It all blew up the night I got a DM from a stranger. I was scrolling aimlessly, just trying to quiet the noise in my head when it landed in my inbox. No greeting. No intro. Just a screenshot. It was from a locked post in a private support group my mom had apparently joined or maybe created. A place for mothers of estranged children. The post? A blurry photo of our park bench meeting. Taken from a distance. Caption: "She finally agreed to see me today." I'm not allowed to post her, but I needed to document this moment. Healing is possible even if it's slow. Broken heart. My blood ran cold. I zoomed in. You could clearly make out the side of my face even if it wasn't front and center. You could see the setting, the time of day. The iced tea I was holding. My privacy once again turned into an update. And then I remembered the phone. She said she left it in the car. I texted her instantly, "Did you take a photo of us at the park?" 3 dots. Then they disappeared. Then came the reply: "It wasn't of you. It was for me." Just to remember the moment. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I opened up the list I'd written. Rule number 1, no social media posts about me. Ever. I copied and pasted it into our chat. She replied, "I didn't break the rule. It wasn't public." I didn't answer. I was already on her account. And that's when I remembered the password. She used to make all her passwords something sentimental. A birth date, a pet's name, a cheesy quote. I tried my birthday. It worked. I shouldn't have done it. I know that. But curiosity mixed with betrayal is a dangerous thing. Her drafts were full. Half-edited videos. Notes for future posts. Photos from old events she never published. One draft was titled, "When Your Daughter Cuts You Off But You Still Show Up." I didn't read all of it. Just enough to know she was already planning her next comeback. Already scripting what it would look like if I ghosted her again. And that's when I knew. She hadn't changed. She just adapted. I logged out. Deleted the password from my saved logins. And for the first time in 2 years, I didn't feel confused. I felt angry. But not at her. At myself for believing even for a second that she was done using me as content. 2 days later, I sent her a calendar invite. Title, One Last Talk. Location, the same park. Time, 6 p.m. sharp. Sunset. I added one sentence in the description, no phone. No lies. Or I walk. She accepted within the hour. I got there early. Sat on that same splintered bench, watching the lake shimmer under a sky that couldn't decide if it wanted to rain or burn. She showed up late. She always showed up late. But this time she didn't wave. Didn't smile. She walked slow like someone approaching a courtroom. I left my phone in the car, she said, before I could ask. I nodded. Let her sit. For a long time, we didn't say anything. Then I pulled a folded piece of paper from my jacket and handed it to her. It was her list. The one she agreed to. Every rule. Every boundary. Every line she crossed, highlighted in yellow. At the bottom, I'd written, "This isn't about punishing you. It's about protecting me." She read it. I watched her face shift through disbelief, embarrassment, maybe even something like shame. "I didn't mean to," she started. "I know," I cut in. "You never mean to. But you still do it." Her mouth opened. Closed. She looked down at the paper again like it might explain something she couldn't say out loud. "I thought I could handle it," I said. "Giving you one more chance. Letting you back in. But I was wrong. You're still performing, Mom. Even your apologies come with a spotlight." Silence again. Except this time, she didn't try to break it. Finally, I said, "I need space. Real space. And not the kind you post about later. The kind where you just leave me alone." She looked up at that. Her eyes were wet. "But I love you," she whispered. And I believed her. "But some love is a weight, not a warmth." "I know," I said. "But you need to love me differently. Or not at all." That was it. No shouting. No dramatic storm-off. She nodded. Once. Slowly. Then she stood, walked back to her car, and didn't look back. And I just sat there, feeling something shift inside me. Not relief. Not victory. But peace. The kind that comes when you stop waiting for someone to become who you need. 3 weeks later, I got a message from a burner email. Subject, "Thought you should see this." Inside was a single link. I hesitated. My brain ran through every possible scenario. Scam. Virus. Revenge. But curiosity got the better of me. The link led to a blog. No name, no photos, just a clean, white page with a single title, "A Mother Without a Daughter." It was a journal. Anonymous. Undated. But I knew the voice. It was her. Except this time it wasn't curated for followers or sympathy or shares. It was raw. Uneven. Full of run-on sentences and panicked metaphors. The kind of writing that happens when someone's unraveling faster than they can edit themselves. She wrote about the silence after I left. The house that felt too big. The phone that didn't light up. The temptation to post about it and the rage she felt when she didn't. She wrote about a therapy session where she admitted out loud, "I only know how to love through attention." And then she wrote this. I don't think I ever really saw her. Not as a person. Just as a mirror. And when the mirror cracked, I thought I could fix it with filters. But she wasn't broken. I was. And I still am. That line hit like a punch to the chest. Because for the first time, it wasn't about her image. It wasn't about me being her miracle or her content. It was just her. Unmasked. Unfinished. Maybe even unfixable. But honest. And that made me pause. Was it enough? Was it real? I didn't know. Still don't. But it made me wonder if there's a version of her that exists without the likes. One I haven't met yet. One she's only just starting to meet herself. I never replied to the email. I didn't mention the blog. And she hasn't reached out since. A part of me thought she would have posted something dramatic by now, a final farewell, a letting go montage, maybe even some vague caption about closure. But she didn't. Or maybe she did and I just never saw it. Because I unfollowed her the day after the park. Blocked her, actually. Everywhere. For my own sanity. That was the real moment I knew I was done waiting. Done wondering what version of me she'd upload next. I don't need her camera lens pointed at my pain to feel valid. The last thing I did was write a short note. Not for her. For me. I folded it, slid it into a book I keep by my nightstand. A reminder. It reads, "You are not content. You are not a caption. You do not owe your suffering to an audience." Sometimes I think about the blog. About whether she's still writing. If she is, I hope she's doing it for herself now. Not for strangers. Not for clicks. Just for the woman behind the screen. I've learned something too. Forgiveness doesn't always look like reunion. Sometimes it's just letting go of the version of someone you wished existed. And learning to live without them. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. But I'm not going back. And that's the story. Not the kind you post online. Just the kind you carry quietly for the rest of your life.